I'm not a huge fan of rebuilding because tickets are so expensive. You go to the fan base and be like, okay, for the next 4 years, keep paying me the owner, but we're going to be lousy. I'm not into tanking generally. I get it, but I don't love it. I don't love big rebuilds. Like, hire good people. The Utah Jazz are always competitive. Like, that's the way to do it. You don't have to be a championship team, but you never go to the Utah Jazz last 25 years and it's like, oh, it's unwatchable. Like, the Lakers have mostly been solid. Even when they weren't good, they were trying. You know, what the Sixers did, it's just toxic to the fans. It's like $300 to take your family to an NBA game for average seats. I'm not going to have you sit through a nightmare. So this, to me, is just depressing. According to the Chicago Sun-Times, Nick Foles has a shot probably as the starting quarterback for the Bears next year. I mean, come on, March 1st, you're done. Essentially what the Chicago Bears would be announcing, self-imposed sanctions. They will not be eligible for the postseason next year due to lack of institutional control. They're self-imposed sanctions against making the playoffs. And I don't know what this is. It is weird. Certain organizations, the Steelers always draft receivers well. The Packers always develop offensive linemen, and the Bears can never figure out quarterbacks. It's like Sid Luckman until an hour ago. They can't figure it out. And they're in quarterback hell. They got no cap space. They don't have a franchise quarterback, and they have a lousy draft pick. It's like Burger King and breakfast. It's just never great. It's just they got the burgers down, they got lunch down, they got night down, can't get the breakfast right. And they tried to start Nick Foles last year. Remember? They said, we're going to go with Nick Foles. It didn't work. And went back to Mitch Trubisky. So the Rams at one point, they tried to do the Nick Foles things, and the Jags did it, and the Bears did it, and that's 0-3. And Philadelphia, by the way, they've moved off him twice, and he even won a Super Bowl for him. They moved off him twice. So congratulations to the Chicago Bears. And by the way, his last 11 starts, he's 2-9. That's what he is. And he has as many interceptions as touchdowns. And the Jags went 6-6 when they sat him, and the Bears went 6-3, it says here, without Foles. So he started one stretch in his career about 7-8 years ago. He got about 10 starts in him, and he was okay. But even his legendary playoff run, you know, he couldn't score. One game, 15-10 win over Atlanta at home. So I just think it's such bad news for fan bases. If you're trying to sell that, and by the way, that's a city that's got a really good baseball team or two, and White Sox have a lot of good players, Cubs, and you've got an NBA team that's got a little bit of a life now, and they love the Blackhawks, and Chicago's a city, once the weather turns, people have options outside on the shore, and you're telling me you got Nick Foles. Come on, you got to do better than that as a franchise. I mean, just simply, it's March 1st. You're just telling your fan base, oh, there's other options in Chicago. You may want to explore those. What do we have here? Whoa! J.J. Watt signing with the Arizona Cardinals. 2 years, $31 million. That came out of nowhere. Per J.J. Watt's Twitter. Now, let's not get fooled on this. Is this J.J. Watt's Twitter? So he got $15.5 million a year. He wanted the money. So for J.J. Watt, money was a thing. So DeAndre Hopkins recruited him hard. Hey, listen, man. Arizona's got Chandler Jones. It's a division with Matt Stafford, Russell Wilson, Jimmy Garoppolo. You need pass rushers. That's exciting. J.J. Watt goes to the Arizona Cardinals. How about that? Boy, that division is just nothing but trouble. God, that division. You could do an NFC West Pro Bowl team and take on the rest of the league. Seriously. That division is stacked. Look at all the pass rushers in that division. Chandler Jones, J.J. Watt. Now you got Carlos Dunlap, Aaron Donald, Bosa. Just the pass rushers in that division. They had DeForest Buckner a year ago. So J.J. Watt is a member of the Arizona Cardinals. So DeAndre Hopkins went after him. Well, he had us all fooled. This morning there was an Instagram, but it was a false Instagram that said he had narrowed his choices down, and we discovered that was a bunch of nonsense.
It was someone said it was his Peloton account.
What's that mean? A Peloton's a bike, but
right. Yeah, it was his account.
How would that be? How would I know? How would we know publicly what his Peloton account?
I mean, it said like people thought it was his account. He said he doesn't own a bike. I'm looking at his Twitter. He said, "I don't own a bike." Stop, which is how that report got thrown out.
I got no problem. He's going after some money. I got no problem. He won 15 and out. He's the only NFL guy on defense. Tell me the top defensive brand guys in the NFL. So there's J.J. Watt.
Aaron Donald.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, he's just great. Does he have a brand?
He's he's like the first person you think of when you think of it. He's the best defensive player. He could be argued as the best player in the league.
I would say the Bosa's have something. Is it a brand?
Yeah.
It's something.
Give a name.
So J.J. Watt's number one. Aaron Donald.
Richard Sherman.
Yeah, kind of, I guess. Does he have a lot of endorsements? He's probably got some.
Yeah, I mean, he's
outspoken.
also just a really big name.
There's just not a lot of... I mean, listen, I can't look at J.J. Watt and say, dude, this isn't nearly as good as the other teams because he has a right to make money. And by the way...
Oh, no, I mean, if that was... I mean, none of those teams that we were talking about earlier, Buffalo, Green Bay, like they're better than the Arizona Cardinals.
And you know what's happening in this division? You got to keep up. I mean, so Steve Keim, the GM of Arizona, is like, all right, Jamal Adams and Dunlap go to the Seahawks.
No, I think it's great for the Cardinals.
I mean, it's like recruiting in the SEC. You got to keep up. If you don't have a top 12 class, you can't compete in the SEC. You have to get great high school football play. That's why Lane Kiffin was going to get a job, because he can recruit. And eventually, if you can't recruit at an elite level, you just can't compete in the SEC. In this division, you have to get star players. You're facing Russell Wilson twice a year, and now Stafford. The Stafford move, Arizona probably looks at Stafford and thinks, okay, we got 3 winning quarterbacks potentially. We got to go get J.J. Watt. Hour 2 next.